Did you know that only 20% of the world's waterways have been explored? It truly remains one of the biggest mysteries on Earth. From odd alien-like creatures to octopus nurseries to black holes, the ocean has baffled scientists since the beginning of time. I'm Mike with List 25, and today I'm sharing 25 mind-blowing facts about the ocean you may have never heard. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe with that notification bell so I can keep bringing you this amazing content. Thank you guys so much. Let's dive in. 25. A Sea of Shipwrecks. Remember back in 2023 when a group of explorers got into a submersible in hopes of seeing the Titanic only to have the vessel implode? It vanished into thin air during its descent to visit the most famous cruise ship in history and kicked off an intense recovery mission that left the world watching in horror. The Titanic submersible met the same fate as its namesake and added to the growing list of watercraft lost at sea. This opened up a huge discussion about how many ships have sunk to the bottom of the ocean. According to the UNESCO convention, there are upwards of 3 million vessels down there scattered amongst the sand and sea life. Terrifying, right? While every sailor knows that leaving port runs the risk of never coming home, no one truly thinks it'll happen to them until it does. Remember, always wear your life jackets because that's the only chance you may have at saving your own life. 24. The ocean's black holes. You don't need to look to the stars to find black holes. The cosmos has nothing on the ocean. Back in 2013, Science Daily reported some seriously groundbreaking research out of Zurich that claims there are massive ocean whirlpools that are mathematically equivalent to the black holes we believe are in space. That sounds pretty terrifying. And just like the ones in the sky, these have a similar gravitational pull. Anything that drifts too close gets sucked right in, and there's no way to get out. Not even light can escape. One of the most famous finds came from University of Miami professor of oceanography, Josefina Olesquaga. She used a mathematical technique created by George Haller and Francisco Berenvera to prove that there is a true black hole just off the coast of Mexico. Even to this day, she uses the same science to track pollution and contamination from ocean transports, which is pretty interesting and concerning. So the next time you think about black holes, look deep into the waters, but not too close. You don't want to disappear into the deep blue. 23. Walking sharks? Excuse me? Well, while I'm on the topic of super scary things happening under the surface, I need to talk about some of the actually terrifying creatures lurking there. One of those is a shark that seems to walk. Yes, walk. Okay, it's more like a crawl that looks creepily human, but that's still just as unsettling. Meet the epaulette shark. These adorable little guys are found doing their weird little catwalk across the coral reef. Instead of swimming, like a normal shark, they bend their bodies and swing their pectoral and pelvic fins to make their movement seem more like a strut than a glide. What little weirdos. I can't help but be fascinated by these fish, and honestly, a little creeped out too. Imagine going snorkeling and watching a shark walk up to you like a person. Hey, how's it going? Can I get some food? 22. Only 10 shark species have harmed humans. Did you know there are over 500 species of sharks out there? Don't be too startled by that number though. Only 10 have ever attacked humans. Okay, that still sounds like too many, but hear me out. You are more likely to die from popping a champagne cork than being bitten by a shark. Nevertheless, we should dive into those 10 who have taken down a person. The white shark takes the top spot with 59 recorded fatalities. Following closely behind is the tiger shark with 39 attacks and the bull shark with 26. Less deadly is the blue shark with 4 fatalities, and we've recorded 3 deaths by the ocean whitetip. Adding to those are single strikes from the bronze whaler, shortfin mako, gray reef, dusky, and Galapagos sharks. So while sharks can be dangerous, and you should definitely look for them while you're out playing in the ocean, well, you're in their home, and you need to respect it. 21. A mysterious glowing orb? What is that? Now for something a little more fun. Back in 2023, a bizarre object was found floating in the ocean that still has scientists scratching their heads. Explorers came upon what appeared to be a glowing orb just sitting there, minding its own business in the water. The team from the Seascape Alaska 5 expedition was the first to come across this beauty, and it stumped everyone ever since. This fascinating golden ball was extracted and studied, but there's not much to tell. All we know is that it's biological in origin and not a danger to humans. Could it be an alien species? A random cool little sea egg? It truly sounds like the start of a horror flick, to be honest. Deep sea ecologist Carrie Howell is quoted as saying, "What's unusual about this thing is we're not even sure what it is." Well, I, for one, can't wait until the day science figures it out. Unless it does lead to horror movie implications, so... If so, let's leave it alone. 20. Headless chicken monster. Speaking of weird and wacky creatures, have you heard of the headless chicken monster? Oh yes, that's a real thing. This burgundy-colored deep-sea oddity looks like a discarded chicken carcass, and making it even more creepy is its tube-like legs that scoop up sediment to eat and has fins designed to swim upright. It's the ocean's very own little dancing zombie chicken. Adding to the allure of this unfortunate-looking fella is that it's hard to study since it's so incredibly fragile that it falls apart under even the gentlest of touches, making it hard for researchers to take samples. I mean, that's totally bizarre, right? It's not half as bad as it sounds, though. The headless chicken monstrosity is actually just a quirky type of sea cucumber and is more oddball ocean cutie than nightmare fuel. Still think one of the most adorable creatures is the sea pig. Is it sea pig? Those are adorable. 19. The giant sea spider. While the headless chicken monster makes our skin crawl to look at, these next monsters will truly keep you up at night. Especially for those of you with, arachnophobia. If you're scared of spiders, you may want to skip ahead. For those of you staying, may I introduce you to the giant sea spider. Oh, yikes. This isn't some daddy long legs house spider hanging out catching flies. Nope. This guy has legs that stretch over 20 inches it uses to creep along the ocean floor. It roams the dark depths and thrives in even the most desolate conditions. Unlike your common house spider, these creatures don't spin webs. Instead, they use a tube-like proboscis to suck up their prey. They enjoy feeding on soft-bodied animals like sea anemones and hydroids. Scientists have even observed them feeding on the tentacles of pop-pop anemones and extracting their internal fluids without causing too much harm. Oh, isn't that nice? What's truly odd, though, is their strange anatomy. They don't have lungs or gills. To breathe, they absorb oxygen directly through their legs, and their gut functions like a heart, pumping nutrients through their body. This unique adaptation allows them to live pretty much anywhere. These spiders are vital to the ocean ecosystem as they play a role in maintaining the balance of the deep sea community. 18. The lion's mane jellyfish. While spiders can have some people's hair standing on end, most people don't seem to be quite the same with jellyfish. They're cute, right? Sure, until you meet the lion's mane jellyfish. This giant can grow as big as 120 feet. That's about the size of 2 megalodons. This gelatinous giant's bell alone can reach up to 8 feet in diameter, and its tentacles trail behind, looking a lot like a mane. Hailing from the waters of the Arctic and North Atlantic, it eats mostly zooplankton, small fish, and sometimes it turns cannibalistic and munches on other jellyfish. It uses those enormous tentacles to sting and capture prey as it drifts around. As a predator, it helps regulate populations of smaller organisms and is essential to the ocean's biodiversity. Thankfully, it's not a threat to us humans. And despite its massive size, a sting should only create a mild irritation. 17. A spaghetti monster? Oh my. While we're on the topic of jellyfish, have you heard of the ocean spaghetti monster? Yes, that's a real thing too. In fact, several have washed up on Texas beaches. These peculiar creatures are a type of siphonophore and are related to the jellyfish and the Portuguese man-o'-war. Made up of multiple specialized polyps working together as one, they float along the surface of the sea using a gas-filled float that resembles an eyeball with stinging tentacles trailing behind it. These eyeballs have been found along the waterline of Mustang Island, which is part of the Texas Gulf Coast. If you frequent there, you may have seen the marine experts warning you to steer clear if you see them. As if looking like something out of a sci-fi book isn't enough, these fellows pack quite the punch. While they aren't deadly, they can hurt you pretty badly, especially if you have an allergic reaction to the sting. So, if you're walking on the beach and you see one chilling out, you can look, but definitely don't touch. 16. A secret nursery. For octopuses? Human moms work hard, but octopus moms may work even harder. Imagine diving into the ocean and seeing a whole secret colony of octopus moms taking care of their babies as a community. That's what happened when scientists were studying the Davidson Seamount, What makes this even weirder is that octopuses are usually complete loners, so seeing them all together acting like good neighbors was strange to say the least. These amazing mothers were found carefully tending their eggs and working as one to keep their offspring safe in the icy depths of the ocean. This was a rather stunning peek into a side of ocean life we never expected to see. Finding this secret society was a gentle and very sweet reminder that the ocean is full of mystery and wonder. Who knew the deep sea could have such a delightful sight? All those 8-legged moms running their own underwater daycare. What a fantastic find. 15. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. We can't talk about the mighty octopus without chatting about their strange hearts. No, I'm not talking about how much they love. I'm talking about the fact that they don't have 1 heart, they have 3. How does this work? Well, of those 3 hearts, there are 2 branchial hearts that pump blood through their gills to pick up oxygen. The other is considered the system heart, and it sends oxygen-rich blood throughout its body. Speaking of the blood, did you know that they don't bleed red? They bleed blue, all thanks to a copper-based molecule called a hemocyanin. This makes them ideal for cold, low-oxygen water. Basically, they're the perfect creatures for deep-sea adventures. Another fun fact is that when they swim, their system heart takes a break, which is why they often seem to be crawling instead of swimming, since they tire out much quicker than other sea life. 14. Sea turtles are like GPS navigators. In other adorable news, did you know that sea turtles are the ultimate ocean navigators? They love globetrotting and take on some epic adventures. These guys travel great distances in the blue yonder, and they rarely, if ever, lose their way. That's all thanks to their built-in GPS-style system that relies on Earth's magnetic field to guide their way. Picture the Earth as an enormous magnet with invisible lines stretching from the North Pole to the South. Sea turtles sense the vibrations of the magnetic field to determine their position and provide direction to their next destination. This seemingly magical ability helps them move around with near complete precision. According to an article published in National Geographic, researchers have been tracking the movement of sea turtles for years, including hatchlings, to watch exactly how they use this magnetic field to move around. Back in 1991, a scientist named Ken Lohman placed these babies in a water tank surrounded by a large grid of electromagnetic coils and tried to see what they'd do if he reversed the magnetic pull. Much to his surprise, they followed suit. Further research found that not only can sea turtles navigate where they're headed to, but they use that same biological advantage to retrace their steps to their birthplace. They say elephants have a good memory, but even they may have nothing on sea turtles. The next time you see sea turtles diving into the water, remember that they aren't there for a casual swim. They're following their ancient magnetic roadmap that's been passed down from generation to generation. 13. All those plastic bags. It's no secret that we humans haven't exactly treated the ocean well. All too often, we've used it as our own personal dumping ground by pumping it full of sewage, garbage, and plastics. So much so that many countries across the globe, including the USA, Canada, China, and Kenya, started halting the production of many single-use plastics. While this hasn't solved the problem, it's at least stopped adding to the destruction. One of those single-use items is the plastic bag. In 2018, researchers exploring the Mariana Trench were horrified to discover plastic bags lying on the deepest part of the ocean. Oh yes, way down, 10,000 meters below sea level, scientist Senia Chiba spotted the bags gingerly hanging out. Upon the discovery, she's quoted as saying, "This study showed that even the world's deepest environment is now threatened by our daily activities." And she's right. So the next time you go to the store, take a reusable bag with you. There are some pretty awesome ones on the market. This one's mine. That's gonna look great on the green screen. 12. The 5 garbage patches. When it comes to plastic in the ocean, the situation is bigger than most people realize. There are 5 major garbage patches floating across the world's oceans, and each one is a swirling soup of trash, mostly made up of microplastics. The largest and most famous is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, located between California and Hawaii. It's mind-blowing, containing about 1.8 trillion pieces of trash and spreading across an area twice the size of Texas. Next, we have the North Atlantic Garbage Patch, stretching across the waters between the US East Coast and Europe. Then there's the South Pacific one, lying between Australia and South America, followed by the Indian Ocean garbage patch, swirling between Africa, India, and Australia. Finally, the South Atlantic one drifts between South America and Africa. These patches aren't solid islands of trash you can walk on. Instead, they're areas where ocean currents concentrate plastics, mostly tiny fragments, which marine life often mistakes for food. The impact on sea turtles, birds, fish, and entire ecosystems is devastating. 11. Plasticosis in birds. I can't talk about plastic waste without shining a spotlight on how it's impacting our bird population. Recent reports are showing a troubling trend. Seabirds are ingesting microplastics, which is leading to a new condition scientists are calling plasticosis. A 2023 study looked at exactly how these tiny bits of plastic affect seabirds. The results are alarming. Plasticosis is a fibrotic disease that causes severe scarring in the digestive system, scarring that doesn't heal normally. Some research even suggests the plastics could be affecting their lungs too. The bottom line? This isn't just uncomfortable for the birds. In fact, it can, and often does, lead to death. It's a stark reminder that our ocean plastic problem doesn't just float on the surface. It's infiltrating ecosystems and threatening creatures we care about in ways we're only beginning to understand. 10. Underwater waterfalls exist. It's not all doom and gloom down deep in the ocean. There's actually some stunning beauty to be found. One of the most jaw-dropping examples are underwater waterfalls. The largest and most famous is found in the Denmark Strait. How does this work? It's all about density. Cold water is heavier than warm, and in the Denmark Strait, the Nordic Sea's icy waters meet the warmer flow from the Irminger Sea. That, paired with a cliff drop in the ocean's surface, causes a cascading effect. The cold water sinks, the warm rises, and a waterfall is created, entirely underwater. 9. Tsunamis are almost as fast as jets. When it comes to fast-moving water, nothing matches the speed or intensity of the mighty tsunami. These aren't like regular waves. They're colossal walls of water that are capable of traveling across the ocean at incredible speeds and with nothing but destruction in mind. In fact, tsunamis are capable of reaching speeds of up to 500 miles an hour, which is nearly the same speed as a commercial jet. Most jets cruise between 500 to 600 miles an hour, so these waves can cross oceans in a matter of hours. The only saving grace is that they slow down as they approach the coast. However, that doesn't make them any less deadly. They can still reach as high as 10 feet and crash onto the shore with such force that they can wipe out entire towns. One of the deadly tsunamis occurred back in 2004 in Indonesia. This colossal act of God killed approximately 230,000 people and displaced millions. 8. Milky Seas phenomenon. Want to see something totally cool? Check out the Milky Sea. It's one of the ocean's strangest and most magical mysteries. For centuries, sailors have reported floating through stretches of glowing water where the sea itself looks like it's glowing under the moonlight. Imagine how stunning that would be. What's behind this eerie glow? Scientists discovered that it's caused by bioluminescent bacteria. These tiny organisms emit a steady, ghostly light. And I'm not talking about a few flickers here or there. Some Milky Seas can stretch over 5,700 square miles. That's a light show across an entire country-sized patch of ocean. In 1995, Stephen Miller, a researcher, analyzed satellite images linked to a 1994 sighting by the steamship Lima. He noticed smudges in the ocean that confirmed what sailors had described for centuries, and confirmed this phenomenon to be real. What we don't know so far is how they sustain themselves. That mystery remains Earth's magical little secret. 7. Underwater craters. Did you know that off California's Big Sur coastline there lies a hidden world filled with over 5,000 craters? These mysterious ancient scars are all over the ocean floor, and scientists are still working to understand them. While the initial thought was that they were filled with methane gas, that is, working to escape, studies using sonar mapping and sediment core camping say otherwise. It's now believed they are caused by massive underwater sediment flows. They work much like an avalanche, but instead of snow, they're moving sand and mud across the ocean floor, creating amazing patterns that are truly a sight to see. What's even more fantastic is that scientists believe this has been happening intermittently for at least 280,000 years, causing the ocean floor to constantly reshape. It seems the deep sea isn't just mysterious, but also incredibly dynamic, full of natural forces that sculpt the landscape. If you ever get a chance to visit Big Sur, think about this ancient process and how each crater is shaping and changing history on the daily. 6. Brine Pools. Now we're going to travel over to the Red Sea's Gulf of Aqaba and dive 4,000 feet beneath the surface to check out the brine pools. Sounds relaxing, right? Well, not quite. This is more something out of a sci-fi movie than a spa. These underwater lakes are so salty they make regular seawater seem like pasta water. The pools are 10 times saltier than the oceans that surround them and are completely devoid of oxygen. They are lethal to any unsuspecting ocean life that accidentally wanders in. Talk about a hidden death trap. That doesn't mean there isn't life within the pools though. Tiny microbes thrive in the super salty environment. Some even produce enzymes that have the potential to be useful in the medical community. More than that, they act like time machines of sorts. The sediment that lies at the bottom stores a rich history of past events. From that, we've learned a lot about flash floods, earthquakes, and the Red Sea's history. And even more stunning, it also gives scientists clues about life on other planets. Think about it. If microbes can survive there, maybe life outside Earth really is possible. 5. The ocean is acidifying faster. Did you know the ocean's been slurping up a ton of carbon dioxide for at least 200 years? In fact, it absorbs about a third of what humans have released. Not only does that help keep the planet a bit cooler, but it also gives the water a tangy twist and makes it more acidic. And adding to that, it's happening faster than anything in the last 55 million years. The extra carbon does make life a little trickier for sea creatures. Coral, plankton, and shellfish need certain minerals for their shells and skeletons, and now they have to work harder to find them. This makes their hard surfaces a bit softer. It doesn't stop the party down there though. Things are just as active as ever. The ocean is full of endless surprises, and this twisted chemistry shows how adaptable the water creatures truly are. 4. The ocean is a climate regulator. Speaking of cooling things off, did you know the ocean is basically one gigantic air conditioner? Those waves and currents are constantly mixing and moving and carrying the heat towards the poles from the equator. The cool water is pulled back to the tropics like a conveyor belt, which helps keep the planet's temperature stable. In fact, without the ocean, the weather would be so chaotic that some places would be completely and utterly uninhabitable. The ocean isn't just beautiful to look at, it's working hard to keep our planet livable. It's basically a superhero working behind the scenes to give us all the benefits possible for survival. Those currents, waves, and chilly depths are a planet-wide system that we get to enjoy in more ways than one. 3. The Atlantic Ocean just got 117 million years older. How old is the ocean? It seems much, much older than previously believed. Deep under the Atlantic Ocean, researchers found massive mud waves caused by underwater avalanches that are more than 117 million years old. These ancient formations were discovered off the coast of Guinea-Bissau and suggest the Atlantic has been carving through the Earth's crust for longer than anyone previously thought. These mud waves aren't just cool for dating our planet, they're like a time capsule in the past and provide scientists with a peek into climate shifts, tectonic movements, and ancient ocean currents. It's shaping the way we understand the Earth's history. 2. Ocean depths will crush you. Ever wonder what it's like at the very bottom of the ocean? Meet the Challenger Deep, the planet's deepest point at a staggering 36,200 feet down. Down here, the pressure is no joke. It's 1,100 times what we feel at sea level. Imagine having a stack of 50 jumbo jets crushing every inch of your body. Yeah, not your average beach day. But the deep isn't just about being squashed. Hydrothermal vents, nicknamed black smokers, blast water at a blazing 700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 370 Celsius. Hot enough to vaporize flesh, yet somehow, weird little crabs, tube worms, and other creatures thrive in this scalding, crushing chaos. Nature clearly doesn't play by human rules. So the next time you dip your toes in the water, remember that beneath those gentle waves, there's a world so intense, it would squash, fry, and mystify anyone brave enough to explore it. 1. It snows down there. But not in the way you think. Our final fun fact is how alive the deepest, darkest part of the ocean really is, and what happens because of how lively it is. Down in the darkest depths, there is a section so dark, It's called the Midnight Zone. And it's there that you'll find the most icky snowfall on Earth. No, it's not frozen water like what falls from the sky. This snow is made up of fluffy flakes that are created from organic matter. This not so enticing sounding blizzard serves as the primary food source for several deep sea dwellers. It may not seem appetizing to us, but to them, this is the buffet that keeps on giving. Despite the harsh conditions and the questionable smorgasbord, aquatic creatures survive quite well. That marine snow is just what they need to live out their happy, watery lives. Well, friends, that's it for today in scary, cool, and fascinating ocean facts. Is there one that I missed that you'd love to share? Drop it in the comments and let everyone know. But before I go, let me ask you a quick trivia question. Which deep sea creature has a mouth so large it can swallow prey nearly as big as itself, but rarely bothers to swim fast enough to catch it? Is it A, the giant squid, B, the gulper eel, C, the anglerfish, or D, the frilled shark? Leave your answer below. And as always, I'm trusting you not to Google the answer. Come on. If you like these fun little factoids, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. And you know what? Here's one you might enjoy about some seriously cool cosmic mysteries. Who knows? You may learn a little something you didn't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, like I said before, click those buttons, and I'll catch you next time. Off to go surf. I've taken up surfing, so let's go.